It's
Hey!
He was gonna do it so confidently too, and then you're like, no, not today.
How is everybody?
I'm good.
You see
I'm
how
great
smooth
now.
that was? Like,
great
it would have
now.
been way more smooth. Smooth as skin. Smooth skin. If you guys just hadn't said anything. It's all good. Okay, let me ask you. Let me start with Aaron. He's the only one who's put together on this show today at all.
Put together? How am I put together? Hold on.
You have glitter hair. You're a mer person.
I'm just
For the video viewers out there.
I'm just looking good today. I don't know to tell you.
How was your day? How was your week? How was everything? What have you done?
You know what? Nothing else matters in my week because I went to Chili's tonight. That's all
Chili's?
that matters.
Did you feel God in this Chili's?
Let me tell you, I was God at this Chili's. They put us back.
God.
They put us back, dude. I felt like I was, the mafioso of this place because we walk in right when they open, right? Like we pull in the door, they're closed. I get there and I'm like, yo, I just did one of these. They open the doors. You know what I mean? So then they're like 4, and I just give the guy a look, like we lock eyes, and then you know what I mean? And he knew. He was like, So we go in the far corner, and I'm like, all right, cool. I want a Sprite and a chicken fajita. And they said, is that all you want? And yep. And then they bring it out, and she's like, you need anything else? I said, you know what I need? Extra tortillas. And the girl looked at me, extra tortillas? And I said, yeah, extra tortillas. Look at this mountain of meat you gave me. What am I going to do with 4 flour tortillas? Like, just,
Exactly.
So there we go. I had 8 little fajitas. I had cold pizza, 8 little fajitas, and another piece of cold pizza, and I'm
Nice.
Chili's, man. There's no Chili's close to us. So like when I go to get it, it's like a treat because it's like 40 minutes away.
I have one that's semi-close, similar situation, about 30 minutes away, but it's not set up like a dine-in joint necessarily. It's like a fast food, like Subway-esque, where you like would walk up to a counter, order your stuff, wait there, and then go back. They don't treat me nicely at that Chili's. I don't feel God there. Mostly just Satan and indigestion.
The devil is at that Chili's. I am excited to bring in episode 23, by the way, of the Breakfast of Champions podcast with the Breakfast of Champions mug and a coffee pour.
Mug.
There you go. Look at that.
Throwback to episode 1 when KB was pouring something in his drink, and I thought he was.
And you asked me, are you going to the bathroom? I should have said, yeah, dude. Doesn't everybody do it online?
So I got this mug just in the mail, I think on Friday or something like that. And also I have some gifts for you guys that I will be sending to you in the mail. So for those who are in and about on the Patreon page, we'll flash that here soon. You guys are getting a signed certificate of appreciation as well as a sticker. So we're working on that. So I'll be doing the certificates here, signing them, and then sending them over to KB and Nerdwire. And you know what? Do you guys have anything to write with? Because I have something coming in the mail for you. I have a Breakfast of Champions pen.
Yo!
That I'm going to send to both of you guys. So I have one.
Yes.
I'm going to have to get mine bronze so I don't lose it because I lose everything. Bronze to put on my wall so it just, you know what I mean? Stays fresh.
There you go. So very exciting. Very exciting. I ruined Christmas? Oh, I suppose I did, didn't I? Oh, man, I'm sorry.
Amber, he's on a roll today.
That was meant to be a surprise. But I'm here. I'm excited. You know, I can't keep anything in.
I know how that feels.
I'm disappointed in both of you. Am I the only one on this show that can keep a secret?
Apparently.
No, I kept one all week.
You barely.
So
you were barely holding it together.
What am I
going to You were one thread away.
If somebody is just like, okay, if I say I've got some really exciting news, somebody's just like, you're going to spill it in 5 minutes. I'm like, damn it, you're right. I'm like, I cannot contain because I get so excited. Like I have a hard time like keeping Christmas gifts from Amber, for example, because it's just like, I want to give them to you right now. Like, I don't know. I just I get excited.
I do the same. This week I gave Mrs. Nerd all of her Christmas gifts that I've gotten her. Every single one. She gets no Christmas on Christmas.
I only gave Mrs. KB one of her presents, but that's because it was something she really wanted, and she's like, I want to use it now. And I said, okay, fine. God.
What'd you get her?
She wanted a pair of bear paw boots, so I got her a pair of boots, and because she didn't, her old ones, she had to get rid of them. Like I guess like a year or two ago. I don't know. They went away. I remember seeing them, then they weren't there anymore.
They hibernated.
Like everything else around here, man. I see it one day and then it's gone tomorrow. So I know
the feeling.
But yeah, I go, do you want these now or do you want to wait? And she's like, I want them now. And I said, okay. So
we're trying our best not to give our son one of his Christmas presents.
Oh no!
I gotta be careful because I'm sure Amber probably has the phone and is sitting right next to him on the couch. But it is something that you jump on. All right, because he's been jumping on the couch, been jumping on the bed, but we've got an indoor jump accessory.
So what?
I don't want to say the T word because he'll know what it is.
So you got him a pair of 90s moon shoes, right? Like the ones we had as kids?
You took it right out of my mouth. I was going for it. I was like, it's moon boots.
Yeah, dude, those things are great. Roll your ankle and everything.
Man.
Ankle and everything.
Have you considered like that leash that you hang from like the top of the ceiling and like they just like do that? You know the one I'm talking about, right? Do they not have that in Australia?
There was something. What was it called? It was called a jolly jumper. So it was like it was like 4 bars that would like mount on the floor like this, or you could just put them up, and it had like a little harness. And of course, this is before your kids can walk. So they're like,
yeah, it's like that, but it hangs from a door frame.
Yeah, okay.
They make those for adults. I'd like one.
Yeah,
right.
I'm sure they do.
I want to
screw the office chair, just like bounce during stream. You're like, hey guys, welcome to the
I'm just so happy to be here.
Oh boy.
Oh man. My week's been good. I'll tell you that much.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
It's been really good. I got to play some Pokemon. I got to run around everywhere. I've bought so many Pokemon cards this week, and I haven't bought cards necessarily that like I'm like I want to collect again. I bought them on impulse, and I was like, I'll buy these, and then open them up, look at the art, and I would look at like whoever was working there and be like, do you want these? Like I didn't keep them. I just wanted to open them because I wanted to feel the rush of I opened a thing. I don't know. I got a problem. But anyway, I went and bought cards this week. I bought an Eevee box.
Yeah.
And I bought stacks on stacks on stacks.
I'm calling the Pokemon police. I'm telling them you got more than 5.
I did get more than 5. Is that a rule?
Yeah, dude, like Target, GameStop up here, you can only have 5 cards. If you try to go over 5, they will tell you got to put one back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Scalpers have ruined
Not down here. Not down here.
They do it different in Kentucky.
Like in this neck of the woods.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
We don't need no rules. But I don't know. It's been good. And Pokemon's been really good. That's been so fun. Like, that's been the best part of my week. I don't know.
Nice.
It's been a good week.
Good for you.
It's been a good week. How's your week been, Eric Ladd?
This was my first full-time week, so I did Monday through Friday, like 8, door-to-door was like 8:10 to like 6:20. So, I mean, it's not anywhere as long as yours is, Nerdware. Mr. 12-hour days over there. But, I mean, it's just kind of like, damn, like normally I would finish like Wednesday would be my Friday, but I just kept going Thursday and Friday, and it was like dead as hell those 2 days. So I just kind of sat there and like farted around on Steam Deck and did some research on Steam Deck stuff on Reddit because I love to actually just read the gaming Reddit stuff. I don't know, it's just interesting. And what else? I need to adjust my noise grade because somebody just went cruising by there.
Was it your next door neighbor?
It must have been. I've been playing a lot of Sonic Adventure as well. Like after finishing Sonic Frontiers, I just wanted to go back and play Sonic Adventure. Oh yes, I do have a Redditor. Get the paddle. I do have some exciting news that I found out this morning. I got a message from the label guy for Retro Game Remix in the States. He's like, if you could choose 2 projects to press on vinyl, what would they be? So we're looking at I think he was going to put a poll over on the Trago Studio page on Facebook. I don't know if that's up yet, but I gave him a couple of options. The Wave Race album, I gave him Turn-Based 2, I gave him the Chrono Trigger album, which I would redo from top to bottom because I'm not happy with the mix. I lost the source files on a hard drive. And then either a repress of Boundless or like an actual pressing of Turn-Based. So more vinyl in the works for me. That's confirmed as of today, which is very exciting.
R.I.P. to all of our wallets.
Nice news. I'm so excited.
That's my
the nice news.
Yeah, I am too.
It is my nice news. So
if you were to repress Boundless or repress Turn-Based or whatever it would be, would you do like a special like vinyl coloring, like a different alternate vinyl?
Yeah. So Boundless. Hang on. Hold on. I've got it right here. I've got my one copy of Boundless here. So Boundless is going to green screen out. Boundless was red. So and my copy has a scratch in it. So like it's
oh no.
Yeah, anyway. But I'd probably do like a blue print, like an earth looking print, like maybe a blue and a green. That would be really cool.
That'd be cool.
That'd be dope.
Turn-based, I don't really want to press because one, I did it limited run, like lathe cut vinyl, so those are like individually made. And two, I feel like it would dishonor the people that paid a lot of money for those. Which, by the way, Nerdwire, you just sent the rest of those out for me, so thank you for being my distributor in Kentucky for those. I appreciate that.
Not a problem. Most of you guys, I shipped them via Media Mail, so that was like 3 days ago. Those should be in your mailboxes by the end of next week at max.
Yeah, which is good. So it's
international is different. Different.
Can I tell you? So I think it was what was it, like $4 per record for you to send via Media Mail?
$4.11. Yeah.
If I was going to send one record to the States from Australia, it would cost me roughly like between $28 to $34 Australian, and then if you're in Europe, it would be 40. So like me sending the giant box of records over to you has just saved me a ton of money, which I really appreciate. Because postage is just so damn expensive, dude.
Yeah,
and it's gone up since I did the Kickstarter. So like to send 100 and I think it was 110 Boundless records overall was upwards of $3+ grand around the world. It's nuts.
It's insane.
Yes.
That is insane.
Very insane.
Would have been like 400.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Here.
Nuts. KB, what did you get up to this week? I'm fine with having a longer show today because we're just chatting. Really, we're just kind of catching up. We haven't had a chance to catch up at all this week.
No, not really. I mean, just playing Pokemon. That's about it. I'm trying to finish the game to do Charizard raids tonight, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen because I'm playing the only Pokemon game with 1 million lines of dialogue.
It's not the only thing you've been playing, though.
No, I've been I've been hard in Minecraft.
You've been real hard in Minecraft.
like staying up till 2, 3 in the morning playing Minecraft, dude. I mean, PlayStation sucks and Minecraft is king, man. I mean, come on. I got to live up to it.
Can't just say stuff like that.
I can. You guys can't. I can say it. I can say whatever.
At 66JD, if you're watching, if you're listening, I apologize on behalf of Kitsune Bites. He doesn't mean it.
I mean, I'm real excited. I've been playing. I'll tell you what, dude. If we can talk real quick about Need for Speed and how great that game is, the new one. Oh my god,
really nice.
Dude, it's so good. It reminds me of the older games, like I think like Underground 2, Carbon. Like I feel like they tried to capture that with Need for Speed 2016, and they didn't. I mean, 2016 was still good. This is this is cool. You could be a street racing Uber driver. I mean, come on.
For real? That's cool.
Yeah. Some of the missions in there, you're just picking people up and driving them around within like the time limit. So it's like Crazy Taxi on steroids.
Nice. That's exciting.
It has a perfect like balance of like anime visuals and like graphics, the cell shaded characters. It's like realistic cars, realistic environments, and then cell shaded characters, anime looking like animations on the cars. Like when you hit boost, there's like little circles that spin around the tires. The smoke is all like animated. It's not like they're not trying to capture like the realistic look of smoke. And you can change all that too.
And you're playing on Steam Deck, obviously. I saw you.
Oh, dude, 100%. Yeah. Why? I mean, why? I wouldn't play it anywhere else.
I saw your video and it looked great.
I want to say thank you, Eric, for rating me because I'm now 3 people away from 200 on
Shout
that
him
channel.
out. Somebody in this chat, go follow this man. Go follow him on Twitch.
So
Let's go make his day.
Dude, I was geeking out. I'm like, Ms. KB came home from work one day. I'm like, babe, I'm almost to 200. It was
good for you, dude.
It felt good.
I gotta say, I love seeing you guys thrive on Twitch. That makes me sound like I'm your freaking proud parent. But
thanks, thanks, Poppy.
I love seeing you. I love seeing all you guys do well. All of our friends here in the chat as well that stream. I always try and tune in when I can. Always got to support the friends. So we have something very exciting to show today that I started working on. What was it last week? Give the backstory, Nerdwire, because you've got a backstory for this.
So it was this really stupid meme song. I got out of Spooktober, and I had Kitsune Bites and my wife helped me set up some sound alerts on my channel. And I was like, I don't want scary things anymore. I'm going to leave some of those on, but I wanted to do something kind of memey, kind of dumb. And I'd actually saw the voice of Ash Ketchum had on her TikTok this like soundbite in the background while she was doing things. And it was Hank Hill talking to this dude at a Kinko's or whatever it was, saying, do I look like I know what a JPEG is? I just want a picture of a goddamn hot dog. And it was done in like this techno beat. And I was like, that's stupid and hilarious. And I think if you drew a Venn diagram of fans of our channels and fans of King of the Hill, like there is a very select section of those people that would love this as a sound alert. So I added it as a sound alert, and then it kind of spiraled out of control because now it's also an emote on my channel because that got requested during an art break that I had done. And then I believe it started with Amber asking you to record a version of Hot Dog JPEG after it had kind of gotten a little bit more popularized on my channel. And then people wouldn't shut up about it, and those people, I am people. And then we did something truly special.
Yep. And with that, I would like to proudly present the first Breakfast of Champions cover song. Hot Dog Goes Punk. I think that's what it is. So please proudly present Hot Dog JPEG by Breakfast of Champions. Here we go. So there you have it. That was the Hot Dog JPEG song done by KB, Nerdwire, and myself. What'd you guys think?
I freaking love it.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Dude, it's taken every every ounce of willpower to not just go, please look at this baby that Aaron, and myself created. It's beautiful, isn't it? You guys want to hold it. You want to cherish it. You want to tell me how beautiful my baby is. Like, it is too stupid to be that good, and it is that stupidly good. Like,
it is. You gave me the idea because you sent in our group chat, like, you just singing it, and I was like, damn, like, the way that you're singing it, like, I heard the melody, and I heard this, like, the final thing. As soon, okay, with music production and like all that kind of stuff and writing, as soon as I have a big picture of something, I'm like, this project's as good as done. It's done. So I did the stream where I put it together, and then you sent me your singing, and then KB sent me his singing, which we added there. It turned out really great, and I'm super stoked. I think it sounds fantastic, and it's like, I don't know if any of you guys are listening on headphones or like maybe in a car or something like that, but there's even like a hardcore bass drop where it's like hot dog JPEG.
I feel it in my body, in my soul when it does it. It's amazing. It's amazing. I am super proud of it. It's the weirdest thing to be like that proud of, because it's like, it's literally just me emo singing about wanting a hot dog picture. But like, at the same time, like, I'm very proud of like what we've created here, and I hope, and I know actually most of these viewers out here are going to be like full on like, yeah, hot dog JPEG.
You're gonna froth over it.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. I am going to put it out in some form or fashion for people to be able to hear somewhere. More than just used in my stream and stuff. So if you guys are excited for that, just pay attention.
Absolutely. So we can announce that we are going to not only we're going to throw this song up on Patreon, of course. So if you want to go support us over on Patreon, I'm going to put that on here after the show. So it's somebody do the Patreon command. So yeah, 3 tiers, more content more often. So you guys are getting a ton of content here weekly, an extra hour's worth of content if you're on tier 3. You get the bonus shows on tier 2. So I think I'll make this the songs available for, I don't know what tier you guys want to do, but yeah, this isn't going to be the only song that we're going to do as well. So you get early access things as well for the future songs. So, and plus Patreon requests, if there's anything that you guys want us to do in terms of like punk songs, why not? It'd be fun. Also, I want to give a thank you to these people here for supporting us on Patreon. We now have 11 supporters on Patreon. Kenzel B, DJ Bob, Lesson Sarah, The Waiting Place, Pondy98, Chucky Noto, 66JD, Melark, I Was a Bullfrog, Shanicles, and no thanks to Nettis as well. Thank you so much. Obviously, because he's like, I don't need to be thanked, so that's fine. We'll thank you. We won't thank you.
yeah, we won't thank you. No
thank you, Nettis.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
All right, I do have a voicemail here teed up. I think you guys might not hear it. I think this one comes to us from our old friend Frog Fuchsia. So let's tee this one up. This one's been sitting here in the queue for a while.
Okay, so here's the thing. It's been a bit cold and chilly in my part of the swamp, so I've been sleeping it off for a little bit. But I'm back now, so maybe just a slight second. I wanted to take that time to call in and ask you guys, what do you think is most important in your media, be it video games or TV or movies even? Do you appreciate more the graphics and effects of the movie, or how it sounds and the music that goes with it? You are welcome.
That is a fantastic question. Thank you, Frog Fuchsias, for sending that in. So the question is, do you guys appreciate more so graphics and effects in your media / movies, or the music? Baby, why don't you take this one? That's a good question.
All right. So for like media, I'm gonna go with movies. I'll pick movies on this one. It doesn't have to look visually. I mean, visually appealing is always going to be nice. It's a good way to tell your story. If you need, great visuals to help you tell your story, that's good. But I also think great writing and the actors and that kind of stuff can kind of compensate for poor visuals. Because I mean, like, look at stop motion animation stuff. It does have visuals to it, but it's nothing crazy. There's not really a lot of CGI to it. It's just somebody taking the same picture, moving an action figure or a clay little figure, you know what I mean, over and over and over again. And I think that end result with the storytelling is what I find most, for like quality or what I'm looking for in a movie or TV show, I guess.
Nerdbar, what do you think?
I'll kind of step into both worlds here, not only just movies but also gaming. And I think it really depends. Like in gaming, for me, graphics and stuff mean nothing. Like as long as it's a good game, I don't care about the graphics. It can be a buggy mess, it can be an FPS nightmare. If it's telling a good story and it's got a bopping soundtrack, like I'm fully behind that, 1000%. There's games like No Straight Roads, for instance, that came out. It was an indie game that was supposed to be a rhythm-based game, and I think I was mostly frustrated because that game didn't do a very good job of actually abiding by its rhythm-based rules. So fighting the enemies was a little bit hard, but really, really solid soundtrack in that game, and I think that redeemed it quite a bit. But I would argue for movies, TV, I think production is almost a little bit more important for me because it can be distracting if I'm watching something that is very budgeted. If it has a great soundtrack in that movie, but like if it is budget filming, I am very out of that moment and not as absorbed into that because I'm looking for that sense of realism. And I think that's more of a production side of things, less so than is it graphics and CGI or what have you? Because like KB does bring up a good point where it's like stop motion animation, that's still high production. There's high production values there, and it may not use a whole lot of CGI or what have you. But I don't know. That's kind of where I land with it. Games, couldn't care less. Give me a good soundtrack. As long as it's an okay game and it looks like garbage, I'll play it. Movies. You could give me no soundtrack, but a good looking film, and I'm down. Like take The Quiet Place, for instance. Like, that doesn't have any music in it at all, hardly. Amazing movie, high production values.
I think it depends on the media for sure. Like games, for example, like you said, the game could not look super great. Not that this particularly I'm gonna reference here doesn't look good. It's obviously just a niche look. But like Undertale, for example, like that game is very sprite based. It's very like basic graphically, but the music is just nuts. I couldn't believe how great that music was. Another good example, of course, because I have it and I like to show it off. A little bit of a flex here. Earthbound. I mean, good. This game, some people would argue that they would say it doesn't look great. I think it looks fantastic. But the music is what really drives that, because the music is... for example, of Earthbound is very characteristic of the story that it's trying to tell. It's very quirky, it's very misshapen, it's very weird, it's different, it's out there. And if I hear a track from Earthbound, I'm like, damn, I'm right back in that moment, because it's like the music can vary from catchy to upbeat to like disgusting and grotesque, but like in this really cute kind of 16-bit kind of way. Movies, is a different story, because if I'm watching I remember years ago they used to have movies on like Sci-Fi Channel, and like they'd be really like D-list, like the CGI would be real.
Thank you, like, Tremors 3.
Yeah,
Tremors 3, Sharknado. I mean,
so bad. So with movies, for me, I need to have character development. I need to have really great story over the course of that. The music is really just a plus. So yeah, I think to answer that question, it really depends on what it is. Games, for sure. Music, for me, especially like JRPGs and stuff, man. Like if I'm gonna be in a battle,
all text based. It's gonna be text based and doing menus the entire time. I need to have a banging soundtrack.
Absolutely,
something to wake you up, from all that reading.
Absolutely. So
I will do one more addition to that though, like Star Wars. The opening of Star Wars, which has zero production whatsoever. It is literally, they took a camera and dragged it down like this like scrolling wall of text. and that like intro where it's like bum ba 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 dum ba da, it's like, okay, well, that sounded very Legend of Zelda, but anyway, you know what I mean.
But imagine that opening scene without the music.
Yeah, I think I might have died a little bit. Who knows?
Yeah.
It did kind of make it, but I don't know. I still stand by my point earlier.
The yellow text crawl and somebody's like, oh, there you go. Thank you so much, Frog Fuchsias, for calling in. Appreciate the call. Sorry, your voicemail has been sitting there for a couple of weeks, and I've known about it, but I just haven't gotten to it. So thank you for your patience. We're going to head on over to our news bite. We've got a stacked news bite topic this week, or whatever segment this week. There's a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get over there. Three, two, don't say that on air. Oh my gosh!
Oh no!
Enjoy.
So
no one can hear it. It's fine.
Anybody? So speaking of music and games and all that movies, did anybody catch the second trailer for the Mario Brothers movie? What are your thoughts?
Oh yes,
I did. I love it.
Man.
I was the biggest angry opponent. I had to opponent, not proponent.
Propane.
And accessories. I was the biggest opponent of this movie, the largest opponent of this movie that I knew, and this trailer made me cry happy tears because I can look past. Here's the thing: he doesn't sound like Mario. Charlie Day sounds like Charlie Day. I expected it. Seth Rogen, I have no opinion of yet. He hasn't spoken. Toad sounds like Toad. Anna Taylor-Joy, I know so little about her. I think, in terms of what she sounds like, I think she does a fine Princess Peach. But Mario, when Chris Pratt at least did the "It's a time" or whatever he said in that trailer. What I can't remember. Let's go. I was behind it because it reminded me. It had that gruffness of Captain Lou Albano, with the hat tip to Charles Martinet enough that I was like, okay, I can see this. I can see what they're doing here, and I can get behind it a little bit.
Here we go.
All right, hot take, Aaron, your turn.
There we go. So when I first watched the trailer, the first one that dropped, when you were upset about it, I cried my happy tears of joy. Like I was tearing up going, this looks amazing. I can't wait to watch it. Then he talked and I'm like, you know what? Maybe we give it a chance, this, that, and the other. And then I watched this trailer and I'm like, what the hell have they done to Mario? I'm like, if I wanted to watch Chris Pratt in a movie dressed up as Mario, I'd get him to do a cameo dressed as Mario and just talking to the mic. Because the guy goes, here's my Mario voice. It's a me. No, that's not the voice. No, you... I can't swear. You person. It is. That was the voice. So like Charlie Day is Luigi. It's always going to be Charlie Day because he does what he knows. He does what he knows best, and that's to be sporadic in a spaz. So like that's cool.
He puts off little brother energy. It's fine.
I can't, man. I get what they're trying to do. It's like an origin story and all this, but like he goes on Rainbow Road and he's like, whoa. And I'm like, no.
It wasn't like that.
Yes, it was like that. It was like that. Listen. It was like that.
I'm loading up this trailer right now.
I can't. The game. I like, and that's the other thing. How are you going to have games now moving forward with Charles Martinet going, it's a me, and then you hear, let's go to the Mushroom Kingdom. Like, that's the worst thing I think I've ever had to experience, man. Like, I don't like these kids are going to be like confused as to what Mario. Like, why does Mario sound different in the games?
Crisis.
You see?
I just went and watched it. He went wahoo.
No, he went wahoo.
He did that. No, he did
not. No, he didn't. He did not. It's all in your head. You know
what? You guys are mishearing it. What he really said was, Gabagoo.
No, that's Donkey Kong. I mean, that was. Can we also talk about Seth Rogen doing the interview? Like he's sitting there like, yeah, I love Mario. I even said when I played the games, I'm gonna be in a movie of that. And
He's like,
Player choice 10.
It's like, dude, put the piece down. It's fine. Put your Gatorade saxophone down, Seth. It'll be fine. Like.
It's so funny when he said play choice 10 in the interview. I'm like, look at you, sounding like you think you know what you're talking about, dude.
Yeah,
they definitely needed him to do better than Chris Pratt did when he was like, I stopped some Google
back in my
what was that game I
arcade
played?
days. What was that? The Mario Bros. I always knew.
Oh man!
Come on, man.
Put some effort into the character voice. Like, come on, dude. Like, step your game up. You're Chris frickin' Pratt. Like,
Hollywood doesn't hire character actors anymore.
yeah, but then can we also talk about the real elephant in the room when Miyamoto just awkwardly looks at the camera and goes, "There's a cat and a dog in my neighborhood named like Mario and Bowser or something," and I'm like. What relevance was
70,
this?
by the way?
I hated everything about that direct, dude.
70.
Well, I mean, if he keeps putting out content like this and approving poor character choices, he ain't gonna make 71.
Oh no!
I can't.
All right, Eric, are you the voice of reason here? Because we're both on very extremely polar opposites.
I thought I watched it and I thought it was fine. I'm a little bit more excited for it than I was. I think to be totally transparent and my totally honest thoughts, I think the movie will be fine. I think people are being too overreactive about Chris Pratt with Mario.
Hypercritical.
I still feel like I haven't heard enough yet. But I know that I'm going to go watch the movie and think, wow, it's just Chris Pratt voicing Mario. I just need to disassociate from that to like, if I'm going to be totally non-funny for a moment, albeit briefly. It looks fine. Like the animation looks really great. They've obviously changed Donkey Kong's character design. So Donkey Kong got a redesign by Kevin Bayliss from Rare when he did the Donkey Kong Country. So they gave him a tie. So they've still managed to move that forward, which is really exciting. But he has a design that's more akin to the original arcade one. So like more fluffy, more apey looking, which is cool, more comical.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Diddy and Dixie Kong in the background of the trailer there. So this is going to be a really great movie if you're fans of the Mario series to watch again and again and again for the little Easter eggs that are going to be in there.
There's so much fanfare.
Yeah.
But I told you what I say. They're going to set this movie up to be the Mario verse, man.
Welcome MCU.
Welcome.
Mario Cinematic Universe.
Also, Miyamoto, I love you very much and your games rock. Just pick better actors. I'm not threatening you. Don't send the ninjas. I've done nothing wrong.
Yeah, speaking of the Nintendo ninjas, Cody, you got a good one to follow this up.
I think I do got a good one to follow this one up. So, recently reported from Redmond, Washington, following the premiere of the latest trailer for the Super Mario Brothers movie, Nintendo reflexively sued the producers of the film, sources have confirmed. Quoted, Doug Bowser says, "Oops, that's our bad." Doug Bowser, for those of you who don't know Dougie, he is the president of Nintendo of America. He says, "We just saw a lot of people getting excited about a Nintendo thing online, so we assumed it was coming from outside. You'll have to forgive us. It's not every day that something we do gets received relatively well." Final notes here. It's a weird approach to being an entertainment company, he added, but we are going to remain committed to this picture. And that comes from the very reputable news source hard-drive.net.
Yeah, there you go. So Nintendo reflexively suing themselves.
Can you believe that?
I know. How funny.
God, what does this world come to?
I know. Yeah. So the whole world's gone to hell post 2020. Now, the funny thing is, Cody, you've actually met Doug Bowser. Do you have the photo on tap? Are you able to show us?
Yes, I am.
You've probably got it framed on your desk.
It is one of my favorite things in the entire universe.
It's his lock screen.
It used to be for a good while there, actually. I was so stoked. Let me find this one.
That is
Real
in the
quick.
chat. That sounds fake to me, but it was on hard drive, so it must be true.
Wait, is hard drive is a reputable news source, guys.
Yeah, it's very credible. I mean,
100%.
that's where I get all my news.
To be totally
Get behind
transparent, everything you just said was 100% true. Okay, don't get that mixed
Here
up.
he is. Here he is.
There you go. There's you.
That's me. That's me. Oh, hang on. Let's figure out which way I need to scroll the camera. There we go.
That's you.
That's me and
Doug
Dougie
Bowser.
B. No one. Unseen Gamer, what are you doing going live? That's me and Dougie B.
We're gonna raid Unseen Gamer after the stream.
Yep.
There you go. So you've got a horse in the race, man. You've met Doug Bowser. So
I do. It has to be true. I mean, it sounds like something he said to me.
Yeah,
next,
you think?
KB. Next, KB, we've got on the dock here performance issues. Performance issues are our next two topics. The link isn't working for some reason, but
Click it better.
click it better. I'm clicking on it, copy and paste.
Double click and then click the link.
It does.
Oh no, that link doesn't work.
Okay. Well,
What link are you?
pretty much. Okay, I'll sum it up for you, and then you can take the next one, KB. So Nintendo acknowledged the performance issues with the new Pokemon games, which I've yet to pick up. They released a patch because originally earlier in the week I put in the doc that Nintendo had acknowledged it and they were looking at fixing some things, and they actually had released a patch which fixes some of the graphical stuttering issues, not necessarily the pop in. So
Oh, boy.
Nintendo's working on it, but this is the thing, and this is going to piggyback off the next thing. KB, if you want to read this one about the Callisto Protocol.
Oh yeah. Well, let me just say, Nintendo patching that made my game worse somehow. So I was sitting there playing the last big boss on one of the 3 little trees. And I mean trees is like the little branches of the story you can do. And I've never I've had characters like NPCs walk around in the foreground and all this stuff, and then I'm like, okay, no big deal. They just walk in, walk out. This one walked down behind the person I was fighting, behind their Pokemon. Then their Pokemon did a move. The body of the NPC went away. It was a floating head with white glowing eyes. And then the head just creepily moved towards my screen. And I got the whole thing. I was able to take a recording of it. And mind you, I had little to no issues with my, I had a couple graphical things in the very beginning of the game, but nothing bad. My game stutters hardcore now. Now mind you, last night I played in handheld. Today I played docked and it's still bad.
Wow.
So I don't know what happened, but I'm one of the unlucky few, I guess, where they did a patch and it just totally made it worse.
See, I played last night on stream with it, and my frame rate stayed very solid the entire time I was on there for the most part, which was that was an uncommon occurrence before yesterday's patch, or day before yesterday's patch, whatever day it came out. Because whenever I was playing that before, I was lucky to keep a 30 frames, most of the time dipping down to 25, oftentimes dipping down to 15, especially when I was getting into places where there were a lot of sprites that would be loading in, or a lot of weather effects, or water moving quite a bit. I was able to go to the area where you take on the Dragon Titan, and had no issues. And usually that place is rife with problems because of the amount of water that's out there.
See, that's where I first noticed all my problems, because when I did the Water Titan on stream, I had 0 issues. Man. When I went back around to try to catch Pokemon, it was my menus were chugging. Everything's just horrible, dude.
Yep.
So, I mean,
I don't know. I'm hoping they get this fixed. The cool thing is Nintendo at least did say, hey, we're listening to you guys, or Pokemon Game Freak. The Pokemon company, whomever it may be.
They normally don't come out and acknowledge those things.
Yeah, and I'd like to see where this goes now. If they're going to be hey, we're invested in your company, do better. And if the Nintendo's saying it, something's going on.
Yep.
So to piggyback off of that, Callisto Protocol came out a couple days ago, and Callisto Protocol releasing day 1 patch to address PC stuttering issues. So somebody tweeted, my PC specs, Intel 9, 12th gen, 64 gig RAM, RTX 4090, so it's a relatively powerful rig. Somebody posted a Twitter video, which I don't have to do a live feed of, and it looks like a slideshow. Like it's really bad.
It's bad.
When are we just normalizing companies charging full price for games that are half finished now? Is that what we're doing? Because I've been saying this for a long time, ever since I started doing Twitch streaming, and even before. It's just unacceptable for me to like have to pay like $99.95 for a Steam game for Callisto Protocol, have it run like a dog's breakfast, and then they fix the game like a year later. And in order to reboot the series, somebody said this in my chat on Twitch earlier, so I'm not taking credit for this. In order to reboot the Callisto Protocol and regain the public's interest in it, they're going to do an anime called Callisto Protocol Edge Runners to try and get people more interested.
Can't wait.
That person is intoxicatingly funny, and they should come on the show.
Oh God,
So good. My chair. That's amazing.
I mean, it's become the new normal. I mean, we're buying games where they want to hit their deadline to meet investors or for publishers' needs, and that's money talks, and the needs of the consumer don't matter.
But that being said,
post.
Exactly, we'll fix it in post.
I have to say, I watched the Digital Foundry video. If anybody doesn't know who Digital Foundry is, they're their YouTube outlet, and they basically do graphics and like all that kind of stuff. The comparisons between like performance mode and quality mode. And Callisto Protocol runs on Unreal Engine 4, but it is one of the better looking games that I've ever seen. Like the lighting in that game, the dynamic, all that stuff. It's just it's a very beautiful looking game. So if Striking Distance, whatever the name is, the developer of this one, obviously the same people who were, I think the core team responsible for Dead Space were behind this. If they're able to iron that out, it looks like a really decent game, visually anyway.
I mean, I wanted to pick it up. It was, I know this past week it was Need for Speed Unbound in Callisto Protocol, and it's like I know one of my friends had reached out to me, and he's like, "Yo, don't buy it yet. The reviews are not coming out until the day of release."
That's a bad sign.
And he goes, "That's a bad sign. I'd wait." So now, I mean, I'll wait till it goes on sale for Steam. I'll give it time now.
It won't be long, especially if it's people are gonna review bomb it. And they're going to probably take maybe 3 months to patch it. And as far as I'm concerned, the ship has sailed in terms of relevancy. And the same thing happened with Cyberpunk. That game was super hyped. And nobody could play it. You know what I mean?
I'm going to give CD Projekt Red a pass here in this sense, and not a pass that they should be able to ship out fake stuff that's just terrible, but a pass in the sense that The Witcher 3 ran like absolute 1000% total dog poop when it originally launched too. And they spent the next 3 years with a DLC roadmap and a plan to fix the game, and now it is celebrated as one of the greatest games of all time. I don't know that they should put these out there, but I think a large portion of this problem is that these open world games are just very hard to test. Callisto Protocol is not that. It is a linear experience. Like, there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for that.
I mean, when talking about like stuttering and glitches and all that, I mean, look how bad the Bethesda games always typically are. It's like, you're going to jump into a Bethesda game. It's like, all right, where's the first glitch going to be? What's the first bug? So like, I don't know. I feel like a lot, like we're so used to it now that we're almost like, well, I guess we'll wait and see what happens with this one. And then it's like, you're the dog at the table with the fire around you. It's like these games are releasing broken, and I mean, I feel bad for the teams behind it, because you have all these great, collective minds coding and building the architecture and all that, and they're sitting there getting worked like a dog just to meet deadlines, and they're like, "Yo, my set thing's broken. What do you want me to do?" Well, make it so it works so we can fix it in post. And like, it's a shame that's and that goes for anything, not even just games. I mean, I know people in web development, they do the same thing. It's here's what's going to happen, or that's movies, anything. Like, people come out with these deadlines and they have to meet them, and there we are.
I still call Bethesda Bethugly. Like every single one of their games are so ugly. At least they're people models. They look awful. There's no reason that you can't get good mocap nowadays. Like, come on now.
I know they need to. Well, I think they're using like some sort of specific engine in house there.
Outdated engine.
Yeah,
outdated.
Super Nintendo with a great comment here, and this pretty much sums it up. Maybe we shouldn't let companies get away with releasing in a row that were a mess at launch. That being said, I've got Callisto and Marvel Midnight Suns on day one. So it's like everybody gets the hype about this. One of the other good ones was No Man's Sky. That game was hyped too early and it was released too early. Now, like 6 years later is the time to be playing No Man's Sky if you're interested in it, rather than it was teased in like 2012 or 2011 or something like that. And it was meant to be.
It was Sony's fault.
It was Sony because they I think they invested in that company.
Hello Games.
Yeah, they had some sort of hand in it to help it get ready, and they're like, "Hey, here's this game, get ready." And then it released, and it's just like, but it took them like so many years of support to get it right. But I suppose to their credit, they were a really small team, and in the end, they got it done, and now it's a really fun game from what I've heard. So. But I mean, AAA companies, I mean, like, come on, man. I don't just think it's right.
But all that to me means go support your indie devs because they're putting their heart and soul into games to make sure they are complete and they are finished.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yep.
Speaking of games from AAA devs, Final Fantasy 16 gets mature rating in certain regions. So I think this is going to be more of a adult kind of story from Final Fantasy, which I'm very much looking forward to. So Final Fantasy 16's realism with sex, violence, and drugs and hate crimes landed a mature rating, which is totally fine because it's a fictional game world. And I like when Final Fantasy goes gritty because it's it helps just build this story. As long as it's building the story and building the world, hey, I'm all for it. So here's a list of things that were shown supposedly within the game. So sex scenes that are not fully shown, intentional deaths, torture scenes depicting suffering victims, drug use, prostitution, sexual content, and hate crimes. So from what I've seen, this game kind of has like this Renaissance-y kind of Final Fantasy 6-y, Final Fantasy 12 vibe. So it's more of like the ancient kingdom of blah, 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 rather than like Shinra, the high-tech corporation. Interesting. So what do you guys think?
Reminded me a lot of Game of Thrones when I originally saw the trailer in terms of narrative, story, direction.
Oh, really?
I was like, I'm down for this. Like, I got super excited because it is going back to like more of the medieval roots with magic and dragons and gods of old. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. I'm down for that. But I don't mind a mature rated game. Here the largest problem with that is that it does limit your audience. As any retail establishment that sells video games, they know they need to abide by the ESRB, so the government doesn't step in and decide what games get rated. The ESRB was created for that. But I think this is going to limit depending on the regions. If America's ESRB system gets this mature rating, because right now this is only confirmed in Brazil, but most likely will be in multiple regions. If America gets this, I think it's going to limit pretty hardcore the audience for Final Fantasy 16, and I think that's a deficit. One of the things I do question though here is hate crimes. Later on the article, one of the things that's talked about is how are they going to be doing hate crimes, because Naoki Yoshida poorly explained to IGN why the game's fantasy world of Valithia didn't have any non-white people in it. And he said he felt racial diversity would be a violation of Final Fantasy 16's narrative boundaries. So what kind of hate crimes? Is it going to be classism hate crimes? Like, there's only white people here.
Probably has to do with, if you remember the story for Final Fantasy 6, I suppose now in today's political correctness world, people who were espers, people who were like the summons of the game were locked away to a different world, and then the regime that was in power basically killed them. So it could be that. So hate crimes is a very broad term, but in terms of like a story sense, it could be people who have magic and they want to ban magic. So burn the witch, pretty much. So I guess in terms of like
interesting that gets put onto the MSR or whatever the MSRB rating board is a hate crime though. Like it's funny they would classify that as such when it's.
I mean, yeah, but it's 2022 though. I mean, like you could blink and somebody takes it the wrong way. So like they're covering all bases and just stipulating this is what's happening. So I suppose depending on the region, it could be graded more harshly. But yeah, but as Netta says in the chat, hate crimes are pretty much a staple in Final Fantasy, and it has to do with like class division. This person is magic, this person is blah blah blah. It has nothing to do with skin color. It's just story driven.
Yep.
That's just the way it is. So yeah, I don't know if you take offense to it, then I don't know. Don't play Final Fantasy.
Yeah, that's another worry though, is that like it's going to limit that audience even more. Like, let's say a person of a minority wants to play this, they see that in there, they don't want to partake in that. That's going to trigger them. Rightfully so. They're not going to play it, but they don't know that it's this is just like classism. This is what have you. I don't know. It's just extremely limiting on audience. I feel like, and doesn't move it forward, but it also doesn't help what Naoki said. So
I suppose it's also hard to say what's in the story. So we'll find it. I'm sure it'll be fine in terms of the story. KB, there's one for you, man. I mean, you got a reason to celebrate here at the Game Awards.
One for me. Oh yeah, that's right. There is one for me. So big news coming out of the Valve front. Valve is giving away a Steam Deck every minute of the Game Awards. They are giving away the top tier model, the 512 gigabyte Steam Deck. So if you want to enter in to have a chance for that, you have to go to Steam's page. You'll see a thing that says the Game Awards. When you register, I guess from what I was reading, you have to watch the Game Awards through like Steam's video player or whatever. And you have to have made a purchase between November 12th, 2021 to November 14th, 2022. So like pretty much if you have a Steam Deck or if you're a PC elitist like the three of us are, you're fine. But get this is what was funny. So they released that and I'm like, dude, I'd love to win another Steam Deck. Why not? Why not have two of them? I mean, I have like 4 Vitas. Now I could have, 4 Steam Decks. So I go to click on it and it said, sorry, your region is not able to enter in the giveaway. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm in America. Like, what are you talking about?
VPN, KB.
No, I'm not. I swear. And I go and I look on the tweet for it, and every single person who's like, yeah, I'm in the United States and it says my region is not available for this. Like, what gives? And they're like, oh, it's a bug. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Just do it on your PC browser. So it's funny that they're giving it away, which is cool because that's let's say Game Awards is what, 2 hours? It's 120 minutes at least.
It's usually about 4 hours long.
Yeah, it's
4 hours long. All right, so then that's a lot of Steam Decks to give away.
240 Steam Decks. Like, let's go.
And you know what?
Yeah, so like I thought that was really cool.
Good for them.
Yeah, I don't know who Valve sold their soul for computer components, but man, they've been churning them out, and it's just cool to see them be like, yeah, you know what, Video Game Awards, who wants a Steam Deck? We're just gonna give them away, like top tier. They could have said, here's the 64 gigabyte, but
they're doing the good one. Jeff Keighley is now the new Oprah. You get a Steam Deck, and you get a Steam Deck. But it's also exciting because Steam Valve is expanding their production to like Japan and like Asia. Like there was some of the Asian regions as well. So Steam Deck is getting there. Also, I believe if you're a Canadian Steam Deck fan, you can start pre-ordering as well. So that's happening. Very exciting. It's a great time to be in Valve's camp, and I'm all for it personally. I cannot wait to play Crisis Core on Steam Deck.
Same. That's the Final Fantasy I'm waiting for. And it's funny, dude. Now here I'm gonna flex on you. So I have my copy of Crisis Core right here. I mean, thanks to the green screen, you can't really see much of it, but I have this here, right? I paid $40 for this.
Yep.
The digital version of Crisis Core for Steam, I paid $40 as well. So, I mean, I got 20% off my purchase through Green Man Gaming because apparently I'm a gold member now.
Hey, well, like I said before the stream, dude, I will literally PayPal you money for like that $40 I'm not kidding. That's a good saving.
That's a damn good saving.
Brand new here at 75 something. So anyway, that rounds it out for the news bite. A bit of a longer news bite, but we're going to move on to a little lighter topic. You guys are going to have the chance to call in and piggyback off this topic as well. So hang tight. We'll be right back.
I'll do my best.
You're gonna do your best.
All right. So welcome to the topic of the week. This week's topic. I don't know if you guys are prepared to get into the holiday spirit just yet. I know it is literally December 3rd as we are taping this, but I thought it best to kick off this season, kick off this merry month with talking about some of our merry memories with gaming over the holidays. So, I thought I would dig back into the recesses of my memory bank and talk a little bit about some of the stuff that I have. But Eric Ladd, I'm gonna let you tee it up first. I got a pretty good one, but I want you to tee it up first with what's your best gaming memory from holidays.
Best gaming memory is I was trying to think. I want to obviously keep it brief to allow people to call as well. So I'm going to list 1.5. My best gaming memory as a kid for Christmas was when I got my Game Boy Color and Pokemon Blue, and that's also the same year that I got my Optimus Prime Beast Wars Transformer. I think it was Optimus Prime. It was like as the big ape.
Oh yeah,
that was really cool. So I mean that totally put me into a spell of like portable games and Pokemon. I mean, you guys remember the hype of Pokemon back in 98, 99, all that stuff. I mean, all the commercials on TV and Pokemon Stadium, like that was what got me into that whole thing. And now, of course, I have yet to pick up Pokemon Violet Scarlet. But that was really exciting. That was one of the more memorable Christmases I've had in terms of like things I've received for games. Another one, I think it was, I don't remember what year it was. I think it might have been the year 2000 or 99. Was Diddy Kong Racing. I don't know if I received any other games that year for Christmas, but I feel like my parents, after like we did the whole present unwrapping thing, I feel like they came up to me and was like, oh, here's one more. So I unwrapped and I was like, oh my God, Diddy Kong Racing. That game, let me tell you what, I love Diddy Kong Racing, and Diddy Kong Racing is the premier racing experience on N64. When I think of Christmas, I do think of Diddy Kong Racing occasionally. I love that game. I wish they'd make another one, and I'd highly recommend Diddy Kong Racing if anybody hasn't played it. It's fantastic. You can play as Diddy Kong or Banjo and Conquer, Tip Top the Turtle, the little Pipsy the Mouse. It's great. It's a fantastic racing game. I love it. Christmas memory for me.
It's a good memory. Some good stuff. Those are some great games too. I share some similar stories, but I want to hear Aaron. Aaron, what you got, bub?
Oh, well, man, I remember, like, obviously the Game Boy stuff, and I talked about this a couple shows ago, how, like, Christmas time with Pokemon was the thing, man. You get what size the box is. So it was like they didn't even have to wrap it. You knew what you were getting. But I remember it was the first year the PS2 came out, and I asked for one for Christmas, and I was very devastated when I did not get it.
Oh no!
I was like, no. So like I'm sitting there playing Grand Theft Auto 3 at my friend's houses, then going home to my stupid Super Nintendo and my PS1, and I'm like, this is bad. Like, why? So it was like the next year, it was put into a box that was not the place. Like the PlayStation box was there, the PS2 box was there. They had put that box into another box, throw me off the scent. And I remember looking through like the newspaper. I'm like, what is this giant box? I'm looking through it. I'm like, oh, like I saw another box. It was some like clothing box. And I'm like, what the hell? Why? Like, oh, great. More clothes. Like, hey. So I go and I see it, and I like pulled the thing out. Like, I was like, oh my God, I see like the little Sony emblem. I grabbed the box, rip it up. Stuff's flying everywhere. Everybody in the whole family was there. It was cool. I remember hooking it up in my aunt and uncle's house and like playing like just all the like. So they got me Grand Theft Auto 3. I think I had the Metal Gear Solid Sons of Liberty. And I remember hooking that up and playing that with like my two uncles are there. We were playing that like, they're like, let me try that. And I'm like, all right, cool. Here you go. And then I'm like, okay, it's my turn now. Like, here you go. You had 30 seconds of fun. It's my turn now. That was one of them. And I also remember getting the Game Boy camera and printer and going around taking everybody's picture at like at the table or like throughout the whole house and then printing them out and going, here's your photo. Like, look how cool this was. But that
was cool for its time.
Yeah, dude, that was crazy. Like going back and looking at the one that you had sent me, Nerdwire, which thank you again, dude. Going back and looking through that, I'm like, I go to Mrs. KB, I'm like, check this out. Like, look how cool this was. And she's like, it is pretty cool. And I'm like, yeah, it has the smallest camera on it, but like the things you could do, you could play mini games, you could add stickers, you could doodle on it, like all from a little D-pad and an A and B button. Like that was the crazy times.
It's beautiful.
What's yours, Cody? What do you got?
Oh man, so there are two Christmas gifts that stick out to me, and then one story that I do want to tell where I'm bargaining. But the two Christmas gifts that stick out to me, it's really funny because you and I share a similar Game Boy Color story, Eric. Because I got the Game Boy Color, and I got Pokemon Silver, and I got a Link cable.
Nice.
Ooh.
And we were really close family friends with my cousin Johnny as well, who was the same age as me. And I didn't know it, but he got Pokemon Gold, a Game Boy Color as well, and a Link cable. And they were setting us up. Our parents did good that year. Like they were setting us up to get all the exclusives. Like it was great. All the version exclusives. That was such a good year. And that Game Boy Color went on to be like, because I had played the DMG for years. I didn't get a color until Pokemon Silver came out. And it was such a great Christmas. Around a similar time, I got the N64, and I remember opening that, and I was very similar to the N64 kid, just like ripping into that paper, losing my mind. And then we opened the box. And inside of this box is the beautiful gray N64. And my parents had also already opened it and popped in Mario Kart 64 in there. Nice. And we were like, yes, that's awesome. So we get it out of the box. We go to hook it up. We're looking for the brick like you had with the Super Nintendo and the NES with the coaxial cable end. No coaxial cable.
No.
It's the RF cables. It's the yellow, red, white. Yeah. And my TV, none of the TVs in the house had that. I was brokenhearted because I had this just brand new gaming console. I can't hook into a TV. My dad's calling all the neighbors like, hey, you guys have an N64? Did any of your kids get an N64? How did you guys hook it up? My neighbor, like about 3 miles down the road, is like, yeah, man, I'll let you borrow a VCR. So the VCR had a coax out and then the RF in. So like he went down, got a VCR, brought it back. I remember getting that hooked up, and it was already my bedtime by the time my father got a solution for that. And we got it hooked up, and he goes, "You got 30 minutes." And I go, "What? What did I do to deserve that?" Like I'm just heartbroken. But those were my two gifts that really made an impression on me as a kid for Christmas. But the story I like to tell, so my birthday falls in the same month. It's in like 10 days. Today's the 3rd. Yes, in like 10 days. And so I would oftentimes use my birthday as bargaining power to get just a little bit more for Christmas. Just a little bit more for Christmas and a little bit earlier. And so GameCube had came out. It had been out for a while. And they had a Black Friday deal at Walmart where you could get a GameCube and the Legend of Zelda Master Collection, or whatever that collection was called, is the gray box collection that was in that box, for $100 on Black Friday. And my parents were not Black Friday shoppers. But I remember I was super stoked. I talked him into it. I'd said, hey, I've been really good this year. I've got really good grades. I would love to get this. Like, can we get this, please? Begging, just begging. And I was like, Mom needs a new vacuum anyway, and it's super cheap right now. So I negotiate. Finally, my parents cave. They're like, okay, we'll go get this. And they said, you can't play it until Christmas. And I go, well, it's my birthday present. Can I get like a little bit of a early, at least a taste of it, like before Christmas? We'll put it back in the box and then wrap it up, and I'll open it on Christmas. And they're like, no. And I go, okay, well, that's fine. So my sister and I are in my room. My sister's about 5 years younger than me, and we're kind of rough housing as siblings would. I remember my grandma had came and stayed, traveled in from out of state to stay with us, and we had an air mattress. And the air mattress was laying on the ground, and then my bed was up a little bit higher, and I had my sister, who was 5 years younger than me. I had her up on my feet and on my hands, and I was like throwing her up into the air and up onto the bed. And it was fine until it wasn't, because I threw her so hard, she misses the bed, goes off the other side of the bed, lands on her arm. We go to the hospital.
Oh, no.
I have to go to the hospital on Thanksgiving night. We're there for hours before they will see her.
Awful.
My mother still to this day denies that this happens, but me and my sister have very vivid memory of this happening. And we're on the drive to the hospital. Hospital is near Walmart. I'm still stuck on its GameCube mode. And I'm like, so we're going to go to Walmart for Black Friday after we get out of the hospital, right, Dad? And Dad's like, no, you're going to have to talk to your mother about that. And I go, but Dad, I didn't mean to. It was an accident. So my sister gets done. It's like 3 a.m. by the time my sister's seen. I have broken her arm. It's in a cast. And my mother comes out. And I have tears in my eyes. I'm like, I just want a GameCube, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. And I go, I've asked Dad, and Dad had strong willpower, because I'm going to tell you one thing. If I was stuck at a hospital for 4 hours with like Trip asking me over and over again, can we get a GameCube? I'd be like, just stop asking. Yes, fine. But he held strong, told me no the entire time. And so we go to Walmart. I do the run straight back because Mom agrees. She's like, I know it was an accident. She agrees. We go to Walmart. I make the sprint for the video game aisle. They have a few left. I grab my box because they were just sitting out, because like they weren't selling that well back then anyway. Like there's a reason they were $100. I grab my box. I run and find my mother and my father in the vacuum aisle. They've got their vacuum. We've got crowds of people around us. Dad has his vacuum up above his head. I've got the GameCube clutch tight. We get out of there. I've got it. And that was by most possibly my best holiday memory, even though I was a terror, because I feel bad, but I still got a GameCube.
Hey, I mean, whatever works, you know what I mean? Like, sorry about your arm, but I got a GameCube.
Yeah. My sister got first try at it, though. So I was like, here, I'm sorry.
Was her arm in a cast then? She probably couldn't even barely play it.
It was. Yeah, he's like, they made those controllers well enough. You can spread your hands. It's fine.
That's hilarious. I gotta say, like hearing your guys' Christmas stories is really nice. I don't feel. I suppose nowadays I'm probably a bit of a Grinch. I am not Christmassy at all, especially now that I live in Australia. Like I think of Christmas, I think of snow and all that stuff. But now I go outside, it's like going to be 92 degrees today, which is. Whatever. I mean, I've been here for almost 10 years, so I would say I'm used to it now. It's a third of my life, and having hot Christmases. So hearing those little Christmas memories kind of takes me back. Takes me back, and I really really enjoy listening to those. But those of you who are currently here, we are going to open the phone line. So if you want to call in 1-315-314-4190. I would love to hear your Christmas memories with our Chat with the Champs segment. Beep. Beep, beep. Ah, no, I hit the
no. Sorry. We'd like to thank you, Patreon. Never mind. We'll thank you guys later.
I hit the wrong thing. So if you guys want to call in 1-315-314-4190. Do you have any interesting Christmas gaming memories or just any funny Christmas memories at all? It is just that funny time of year where suddenly the Christmas memories come rushing back. If you do call in, I will answer. I will say hello to you. Tell me your memory. Then we'll hang up, and then us three will discuss, because the way that the audio is routed, they can't hear you, or you can't hear something like that. So just leave your thought. Drop your thought. But yeah, can we call in Discord? If you call in Discord, it will
stop this call.
Actually,
Yeah, it'll.
Yes, I think it will stop this call.
Yeah,
It'll stop this call.
You can call on Skype if you want.
Real quick. Do you guys have any games that you got that you thought you wanted for Christmas, or maybe your family didn't know you that well and bought you a terrible game for Christmas that you just regret? I will tell you mine.
Yeah, let's hear it.
What's that?
It was Star Wars: Shadows of the Empire.
Oh,
And in retrospect, now that's a great game, but back then, I was not good at it. And I was very upset. I was so upset. And I was like, I hate this game. It's boring. I want a Donkey Kong 64.
oh God.
Oh, man. I was not the whiner. It feels like I was. Like, I was not. But I didn't do too hot with that one. I did not.
My parents always did really well for me for Christmases. I always got everything that I had asked for. I remember one year I was so used to getting things that I asked for that one year I asked for Neil Peart symbols, Sabian symbols, the Paragon series crash symbols. I got 3 of them, I think, that year. But I had they didn't come in time, so I opened up a gift card, or I opened up a card that was like order number, et cetera, and then my parents were like, I'm really sorry, they're not going to be here. And like, I always feel like, in retrospect, this is like 15 years ago, I always feel so shit because like I like pitched a fit over it. I was like, how dare they not be here? I feel really ungrateful for some of those instances like that. So it always makes me cringe as well looking back. I'm very thankful for what I did have as a kid, and I always really got everything that I asked for, and I try to do that with my son as well. I mean, like it'll be like 7:00 in the morning. He'd be like, "Can I have ice cream? Ice cream!" I break after 10 seconds because I'm like, I just don't want to hear it. Just give the damn ice cream.
My God.
Yeah, I feel that. You do that with Sammy and Tipper too, though, don't you, Aaron?
Nah. I don't. I like, so for dog treats I cave. For people food I don't. I'm like, go away, no soup for you.
Yeah,
but you're protecting them at that point. That'd be like if my kids were like, "Can I stick my head in an oven?" Like, that's different.
Yeah, like I'll sit there because Sammy has to get pills, so naturally Tipper has to get an empty pill pocket. So instead of like ripping one in half and giving like Sammy's little pill in the one half and then the rest to Tipper, I just give Sammy a whole one, then I give Tipper a whole one, then Sammy's getting like 3 whole pill pockets and Tipper's getting a whole one, and then before you know it, they both are starting to get a little rotund,
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I mean, as far as like games, I remember when the DS came out, I wanted that and Metroid Prime Hunters. That's all I wanted. And I ended up with like Asphalt like 9 or something, and like some Spider-Man game. And the Spider-Man game was a side scroller and super cheesy.
Ooh, that one's actually really good too, though. Like in retrospect, if you go back and play that one, it's actually good.
I would play it now, but at the time I was like, it sucks.
Yeah, I felt the same about Shadows of the Empire. I was like, this sucks. And now looking back at it, I'm like, man, my parents had good taste in a video game, actually. I was just bad taste child.
Yeah.
I always did really well to put together lists and stuff like that. I remember, do you guys remember getting like the Sears catalog? Yeah. And like it was as thick as a phone book was back in the day, and I used to go through and look at everything. I remember looking through everything. I mean, there was a lot of times, like years, I would get a lot of junk, which is fair enough. I mean, like, and we try to limit that now, especially with our son, because like I walk in the playroom and I am absolutely overwhelmed with how much crap this kid has. And it's got to go, because it's like, it's at the point now where like, we don't have a lot of stuff. Like we have enough to fill a house, but it's not a lot. But it's like enough that it's kind of like ruining my mental state when I look in the room and I'm like, I gotta walk out of here. There's too much shit. There's just too much.
You're in purge mode anyway, too. You're in purge mode.
Dude, I've been selling stuff like crazy just because I'm tired of looking at things. Oh, we're getting a call.
Hey.
We're getting a call. All right, hang tight, guys. Hello, how are you? Thanks for calling in. Who are we chatting to? And what is your Christmas gaming memory?
Hey, it's Marky Mark, and I wanted to call in. 2 Christmases in a row were solid hits. First year when I got my N64 with Legend of Zelda, and then the very next year when I thought my grandmother had gaming skills and knew video games, because I got Majora's Mask from her. Little do I know, as an adult now, my parents just put her name on the present. But I was impressed back then. I'm like, oh, Nanny, I love this.
I love that. That's a really great one. So Legend of Zelda. So 2 years in a row. So what game do you prefer? I suppose, do you prefer Majora's Mask or Ocarina of Time?
Honestly, like as an adult, Link to the Past.
Oh,
but no, if I had to pick between the two, Majora's Mask is more fun for me.
Interesting.
That's my boy.
Interesting. Well, there you go. Good choices. Thank you so much, Mark, for calling in. I appreciate hearing from you with that gaming memory, and I can totally vibe with give grandma the game to give to the kid. He won't know any better.
Exactly.
Very good. Thank you so much for calling in, dude. Good to hear from you.
All right, you take care.
Ta-da. That's a good one.
News. We can hear the calls.
Yeah,
we can hear the voicemails.
You can hear the
that
calls.
Was great.
That's great.
Yes.
They just can't hear you. Okay, great. Good. That somewhat works. The frog sipping emoji went in the chat, and I didn't put it in there, so I think Amber must be on the iPad upstairs.
Oh my god!
Because I saw so the frog name went under my the frog emote went under my name. I was like, I didn't put that there. Mm-hmm. Anyway, there you go. Thank you, Mark, for calling in. That's a great one. Oh, sorry, you're fine. You're fine, Amy. Don't worry about it. It's fine. That's a good one. I really like Zelda Christmas memories. They're Zelda. I don't associate Zelda with Christmas though, because they usually don't come out.
It's usually spring release most of the time.
Right.
Yeah, except for Twilight Princess.
True,
that came out alongside the Wii.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I remember playing that.
I remember my grandma asked me, what do you want for Christmas? And I said, I really want a Wii, but I don't think it's going to happen. And she's like, where? And I was working at Kmart at the time. And she's like, can you get them where you work? I said, I can get it, but I can't be on the clock that day. So she goes, all right, I'll tell you what, I'll get it for you early, but you're not getting anything else. And I'm like, okay. So she had me up early at like 5 a.m. and we stood in line at Kmart for it to open at, I think it was like 8 or 9. And they only had 5 and we were number 3 in line.
Oh, nice.
And I remember the pharmacist came in, like the guy, he took off today so he could try to get that for his kid. And he's like, dude, I will pay you guys $500 for this thing. Like, I need it. And I'm like, sorry, my guy, this is mine. And I remember coming, like, bringing it home, playing Twilight Princess, thinking it was so cool. And then, like, Thanksgiving at my Grams, I'm sitting, everybody else is talking. I'm like, leave me alone. I'm trying to do this dungeon.
Leave me alone, Grandma. I'm trying to play Red Steel for Wii.
Yeah, like, man.
It's another great game.
Yeah, it's not
another
bad.
Great game.
For a launch game, it was fine.
It was funny you talk about the Sears catalog, but you remember the Toys R Us big toy book, and like when Target started to get on the toy books and stuff, man, I remember going through those, dropping the hints like, oh look, they have a DS for $100 and some. What a surprise! Like, it even comes with a game.
Dropping the financial data into it as a teen and preteen. You know about dollars.
yeah. It'll only cost this much. It's it's not that bad.
Do you guys have anything on your Christmas list this year?
No, I haven't even thought about it.
I have a lot of wants, but I usually just buy them most of the time. I've done very good to not buy a couple of things. That way I can save some people if they do decide to get me something, but
that's Mrs. KB's problem, because I buy whatever I want when I want it. I'm like, yep, I got this thing coming, and she's like, oh, cool, that's sweet. Like,
yeah.
Oh,
I do often drop a pretty big hint. Right? Drop a pretty big hint, though, and I'm like, hey, this is really cool. I would love to have this. So, I don't know. I already know some of the stuff that I'm getting, because Mrs. Nerd's just as bad as I am. And she just straight up tells me what I'm getting. So,
getting a call. I think I know who this one is.
Uh-oh.
Welcome to the program. Who are we chatting with, and what's your Christmas memory?
Hey, it's your boy Nettis.
What's
How
up,
you
Daddy?
doing, gamer? So for me, it's always been just like mainlining games when I get them. 2 specifically. One is Twilight Princess, which I remember getting on GameCube. I don't know if you had that at the same time.
I had it on Wii, not GameCube, though.
Yeah. The big one was Nier, though. I remember getting Nier on 360 and just mainlining that game in like 36 hours and then crying because that game is extremely depressing. And then finding out I'm only halfway done.
Yeah, you got to play that game like twice to get the right ending, I think. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, actually, like 4 times if
One
you
of
want to get
7.
the real
Yeah.
ending.
It's like one of 7 endings.
There you go. That's amazing. Nier was a game. I bought that and I never played it. I need to go back.
Go play it.
I'll go play it. Well, thank you, Nettis, for calling in.
They have the remake now. It's not as good.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
All right. If I can get it on Steam Deck, then I'll play that because I'm a Steam Deck elitist. You know that.
PC Master Race.
See you gamers later.
All right. See you later, gamer. Thanks for calling in. Ta-da.
Never stop gaming.
What a
G4 shut down. We can take that now.
Yeah, we could. Yeah.
Never stop gaming. Well, Nettis is such a great guy. Nettis was the best man at my wedding. I go a little bit of trivia for you guys. Great to hear from him. We grew up together. But yeah, the Twilight Princess on the GameCube was mirrored because Link was left-handed as he normally is in the mainline games. But for the Wii version, he was right-handed because most people are right-handed. So there you go. So some say that the GameCube version is the definitive version.
Yeah,
I would agree with him.
Maybe
I would agree with him. I liked it better. Yeah, no, Nier is good, by the way.
Is it good? Never played it.
It is really good. Nier Automata or Nier Automata, depending on your colloquial pronunciation, is actually based on one of the endings from the 360 Nier.
Interesting.
Really, really solid continuation. Like I love that series. Plus, it's got waifus.
Oh, now we're talking.
I love my anime waifus. Yo,
I'll tell you what, man. Go ahead.
No. Okay, all right. It's really quick. There's probably only like 2 people in this chat who are going to get what I'm about to say. But there was like this one like Final Fantasy or some sort of convention commercial, and it was so funny because they tried to be like anime people, and there was one guy that shows up. He's like Garugamesh. Nobody's. Do you get that one, Nerdmar? Do you get it? I know Nettis.
No, but that's not pronounced right.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
All right, there you go.
Oh man.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for calling in. Really great to hear from y'all. We're gonna flick on over to our wrap up. I think I can't remember if I even have the audio on for this layer. I don't know. We'll see. We'll just flick over. I've got one more topic for you guys. See if this works. Absolutely no swear words at all. So I've got one final topic for you guys.
Oh, no.
Not Christmas related, but maybe it is, I suppose. What if you could bring back one TV show that was canceled? Which one would you bring back?
I know my answer.
Say it.
Alf.
Alf.
Yeah, Alf was good.
How old are you?
1000% Alf.
I loved Alf when I was a kid, though. I watched that too, like crazy, dude.
I would bring back Alf in a heartbeat. And if that's the only one I get to bring back, it would be Alf. Awkward Jim Henson family comedy. Like, thank you, Ned.
You're looking
I
great
do look
for 50.
fantastic for 50. I do, but I think if they moderned it up, a little bit, I think I could get behind that. My only follow up, and it's something that is, from what I understand, is actually coming back. King of the Hill. And
King of the Hill is coming back. I'm excited
for that.
Yeah,
to come back.
I love King of the Hill. Dude.
That would have been my answer if it wasn't already actually coming back. But now I have answered Alf.
I'll give you 2. Wonder Years and Pete.
Ooh, Pete and Pete. Ah, man.
Give me a modern Wonder Years. You know what I mean? And give me modern Pete and Pete with the same awkward weirdness that they had then.
Give me some Hey Dude.
You know, oh, dude. Hey Dude, salute your shorts. I mean, all that stuff was so good. Like, bring all of it back, man.
Yeah, man, Pete and Pete. What about you, Eric? You had something on mind, I'm sure.
I do. It's the Cowboy Bebop series for Netflix. They can't.
Oh no! Are you and I one of the only 2 people who actually enjoyed that series?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it wholeheartedly.
Okay. Hey, there's more than 2 people out there.
I gotta say,
at
dude,
least, and we're all on this podcast.
I am an OG Cowboy Bebop fan. I watched that show, on Adult Swim. I loved it. A little bit of Cowboy Bebop lore. You guys know that I like, my Japanese fusion jazz. I like T Square. The sax player that took over from Takeshi Ito in 1990 was Masato Honda. He fronted T Square from 1990 to 1997. Then he left, and then he joined the Seatbelts, not the Seatbelts. Was it the Seatbelts? I think it was the Seatbelts who did the Cowboy Bebop theme song. So the sax player
That's
that
awesome.
you hear in Cowboy Bebop is from T Square. So it's like, that's a really cool thing to connect the dots. But anyway, aside from that, the anime was fantastic. And when Netflix said, "Hey, we're gonna milk this cash cow till its udders turn dry," I don't know. I was like, "Oh God, here we go." But I watched the show with total open mind, and I really enjoyed it. It was a really great interpretation of that show. I mean, how else are they going to interpret space cowboys, bounty hunters to live action? And I personally think they nailed it. I love the backstory. Like the guy who played Jet was perfect. I loved it. And then they cancel it because all the anime losers get upset. "Oh no, my anime, blah, blah, blah. How dare you ruin this?" It's like, get a freaking life, dude. Get the hell out of your basement. Go touch grass. The show was great.
You tell them. You tell them.
There's my there's my Kitsune Bites hot take.
I mean, dude, I'll tell you what, Cowboy Bebop, I enjoyed it so much. That was the first UMD movie I bought for PSP, was the Cowboy Bebop movie. And I still have it. So, like,
It was my first entry point into anime. A lot of people want to cite like DBZ as like their first, and DBZ was a good follow up. But I remember we had like a Stars free weekend on cable or whatever that was on, and that was repeating during one Saturday afternoon, and I was way too young to be watching that content, I believe. But it was the Cowboy Bebop movie.
Nice.
And I was like, I was blown away by the animation in that.
So good.
I was like, holy cow, this is amazing. This is beautiful. Just super interesting and intriguing. And I had my door shut because I felt like I was watching something precious, but at the same time, something I shouldn't be seeing. And so it was on my little 12-inch tube TV in the room, my little Voxophonic or whatever the heck it was brand. Panasonic.
You want to know what was my introduction to anime?
What's that?
The Ghost in the Shell movie.
That's a good movie too. I love it.
Damn good movie. Oh yeah. Yeah, being a little kid watching that for the first time, you're like, yo.
Well, those all came out at kind of like the similar time frame because they had that very similar like aesthetic too. Where it was this hyper detailed like.
And I think that's why I like cyberpunk stuff, because I saw that and I'm like, this is great. I love it. Let's go. Like both of them. I mean, it's good.
Good stuff, man. We're all anime fanboys. My mother texted in and said X-Files, Beowulf there with X-Files as well. What else are you guys saying? Ronin Warriors was first anime, Mark. So yeah, there's a lot of shows that I would love to come back. I mean, unfortunately, the Cowboy Bebop show ain't coming back because
Netflix sucks,
and I've canceled my subscription with them, but then I'll probably renew it so I can watch the new Sonic show and then bounce. Yeah, there's a lot of great shows with you. I don't really watch TV anymore. Dedicated TV shows. So there you go.
If anyone's going to watch anything on Netflix, please let it be Wednesday. It is so good. Oh my God, is it good? Like,
I've heard good things, but you know what else I've heard good things about? An exclusive show that you can find only on Patreon. Thank you to these people for supporting us. But if you want to go support Breakfast on Patreon, get 3 tiers, more content more often, including our bonus episodes and the midnight snack show that we're planning to do soon. I don't know if we're going to do it after the show today, depending on time. But you get not only that, access to the bonus shows, you get the extra content. I've been recording for 2 hours and 21 minutes already, and we've been live for almost 2 hours. So you get almost like 40 minutes of extra content for pre-show, prep show calls, post-show, blah, 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 all that. No!
No, he's just cycling
go
through them all.
Cycle through it all. That's fine.
Sorry.
You guys get it all.
You get all the mistakes. So there you go. Believe me, can I just say this show ain't getting canceled, ain't going nowhere.
We're just getting started.
Let me hit episode 30 first, and then we'll bounce.
Okay. All right.
So-
that sounds like a good plan.
That sounds like a great plan. So, any final thoughts for?
I'll still be here.
for
I
20.
get the logins.
Yeah, you do.
Just turn it on. Welcome to the Breakfast of Champions. It's
Breakfast
just
of
me.
Champion. Any final closing thoughts here for episode 23 before we bounce on over to our post show?
Nothing extra. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for going to the Patreon. Thank you guys so much for celebrating JPEG hot dog JPEG, however you want to pronounce it. I don't know. Like, this is a good show. This is a good show.
It was a fantastic show, and we are, instead of doing a quick transition, I'm going to leave you guys out. I'm going to play us out, as to quote Bill O'Reilly, to play us out. Hot dog.
Do it live.
We're going to play Hot Dog JPEG one more time, and then we're going to come back for our post show. We'll be right back.